Last week we saw an inflation change to 8.6%, which is the highest inflation in the US since 40 years. This week we have the FOMC interest rate change, which might be going to 1.5%. So this week will be very volatility, and I tell you which market will be interesting, where the market will go, and why maybe we don't see a change of 50%, maybe just 25%. Let's check it out.
This video is presented by PEAKDEFI, the DeFi ecosystem to grow your wealth.
What do we have here? We have here the news calendar for the coming week. What do we have here? We have PPI numbers on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday we have all the interesting stuff. So first of all, the core retail sales, which are important. And then we have the FOMC statement, where we maybe change to 1.5%. Do they go to 1.5%? I can tell you it is just because the CPI data from last week, where we have the inflation to 8.6. Now the FOMC has to go against it. And here we see what is priced in already. So we see a 60% chance that we're going to 1.5, but there's as well 40% that we're gonna do a 1.75. We see for 1 week ago it was clearly just 25% upper. Then yesterday we just see 76%, and now we see 60%. So this is priced in. So if we're gonna see this one, then we see a lot of volatility in the market. So let's check the market out and let's see which market is interesting. Again, we analyze the market, we all times analyze, which is BTC, ETH, ADA and DENT. Okay, so what do we have here? If we're going again to our bigger chart, we see we are in this range. We have sell side liquidity, so money on the downside here, which will be taking out for sure. And as well, not good news on BTC is if we're checking the monthly chart, right? Then we see this. If you see this, right? If I can get it on easy words, we just see one-sided way, right? So it's just one candle up, one candle up, one candle up. We never closed this gap here and never close this gap. What does it mean? There's a lot of money which is just on one side, so it's easy to going back to the downside. In that case, the market could fall down to 20,000. So Bitcoin could go to 20,000. Is it next week? We don't know, but it could happen in that month. The month could peak out to this level. So on the weekly, we see the fair value gap is holding, and we still trade below it. And now on the daily, what I like to see is if we maybe getting to this fair value gap and then trading short. So I'm trying to short the market because I just see a lot of pressure to the downside. We see big candles every time to the downside. You see we got rejected from the fair value gap every time. The only thing is why I can't shorting it when we're going back to the H4. We are just too expensive right now, right, for shorting the market. So what would I like is if we're coming back to that fair value gap, which would already reject it as well. So if we're coming back to this one or to this one, then I'm trying to short the market. So what do I think? I think we should see the 28,650 level or the 28,300 level, and then rejecting from that. What do I think about the levels? I think that we're gonna see for sure that level here, that we're gonna break this low, and we're going to go below 26,500. That's what I think for the week for BTC. And as I said, for my short entries, I'm trying to short here because it's just expensive. Maybe we get another fair value gap. If we make it a lower low, we get another fair value gap above here. Then it's, of course, another way where we could short the market. But yeah, BTC doesn't look that great. What do we have here on ETH? ETH normally is the same thing. We have one big green candle here, big value gap here, which is on the high. So I think the market could go here to 1,100 and at least touching the 1,300. That's what I think is coming on from the market. We just closed that gap. And yeah, let's check the weekly. We see weekly a lot of big gap here. So it might be that we're going to close this gap maybe this week. But again, that we going to fall down a little bit more. And as well, just on the webinar, what I see here, we have some money sitting below here. So this is an interesting level where the market could go this week. So I guess the market will go to 1,234 this week. My entries, where would be my entries? It's not that easy as we see here on the daily. We just got one gap here and one gap here, which got still rejected. So the market went into it and fall down, which is nice. So the market shouldn't break this high very soon. And the same what I want to see is that we're coming back here. On the H4, it's the same picture we saw earlier. I want that we coming back here to 1,626. That's why I have as well a long position right now open, which should trade to this level, right? Because I think the market will coming up to that level. But yeah, why did I enter the trade? Again, we are here on the open price, and I expect that the market is going up to that level because we have some money on the upside here. And then it's going to be interesting because we first have to get out this money and then we can fall down further. So ETH, interesting, at 1,620 for more shorts. That's what I think. And as well, I think for that week, we're going to take out the 1,400 level. Then we coming to ADA. ADA, very, very strong. We see here we still have the I call a liquidity void. You can call it money rush, where just one side of money coming up. So it's just buys coming up here. And I think that we're going to close that. And I think as well, if we're checking this one, we see we have a really nice, what's it called? Divergence, because we should close this one. So this should fall into this one. Then we made a new lower low, but this made a higher low. So this could be interesting. But as well, I still think that we're gonna move down below 0.44 this week. And for entries, it's not that difficult actually, because we are already on a good spot. Like we could go a little bit further up, which will be around 0.558. If we're coming to that level, that will be interesting to short the market. And yeah, so what do I think about this one? If we're coming up above 0.558, I try to short the market. I think as well that we make this week a new lower low on ADA as well. Then we're coming to DENT. DENT is interesting as well. As you see, we have very fast pressure to the downside. We have this trend line phenomenon. And here, I think as well that we're going to see something to the downside, at least getting this liquidity out and then this one. So this one below. So I think DENT will fall to at least 0.008. If we're checking the monthly, we see we don't have much value to have something here. So yeah, it could be an open falling knife if we're coming below this level here. And I guess this might happen, that we're coming to this level or below this level. As I said, there's no really some resistance. And yeah, normally we take out the lows to get the money out of it, and then we can moving up. So what do I expect from DENT? I expect from DENT that we make a new lower low. If we're coming up to that fair value gap here, or that fair value gap here again, then I'm trying to short the market as well. So first level, if we're coming back to 0.01, or if we're coming back to 0.0011. That's the levels where I would look for shorting the market. So for the conclusion, BTC is short if we're going back to 28,500. Let's say, well, let's get the half, 28,500. ETH is interesting for shorts at 1,600, and ADA is interesting for shorts as at 0.54 and 0.57, and DENT is interesting for shorts at 0.001 and 0.0011. So these are my levels. There will be a lot of volatility, so take care about your stops. Don't risk too much because, as I said, there is a chance to get 75% change in the interest rate. Then we're coming to 1.75. So take care about your stops, trade safe, and have a good week. Bye.